All right, let's get this party started. We're diving headfirst into Super Mario Party Jamboree today. And you guys send over a ton of stuff, reviews, previews, even some like deep dive analysis pieces. So I can tell you're not messing around. You want the real scoop on this one, right?
Yeah, and that's smart. You don't want to just buy into the hype, especially with Mario Party, you know?
Yeah.
They try to change things up with each new game, so it's always a question of what they're going to do. This time around, though, it looks like Jamboree is trying to do both. They're bringing back some of those classic boards for the nostalgia factor, but they're also adding these new mechanics that could totally change the whole feel of the game.
Totally. Okay, so before we get too deep into this, just to make sure we're all on the same page, Super Mario Party Jamboree came out October 17th for the Switch.
Right.
And it's still the same basic idea, virtual board game, roll the dice, cause chaos with mini games, but this time they're bragging about having over 110 mini games. I mean, that's got to be some kind of record, right?
Yeah, it's a pretty huge number. And it makes me think they're trying to do more than just, button mashing, which some of the older games got criticized for. We've got motion controls, rhythm games, even some that seem to require teamwork. Sounds like they're trying to keep things fresh and offer something for everyone.
Okay, you officially got my attention. So let's talk boards. 7 in total, right? Mix of new ones and some familiar faces. I see Mario's Rainbow Castle and Western Land.
Oh, man. The nostalgia is hitting me hard already. But they're not just like copy-pasting them, right? They've been updated or something.
Right. Think of it like they're remixing them. The layout and the basic challenges are the same.
Yeah.
But the visuals are all updated, and they probably tweaked how certain spaces work, to keep things interesting. I'm really curious to see how those changes affect the strategy for people who've been playing these games forever. Yeah, that's a good point. It's like taking something familiar and adding a new layer of depth to it. Speaking of new, Rainbow Galleria, that one caught my eye. It's set in a shopping mall. And get this, it has moving parts, like escalators that move shops that open and close. How does that even work in a Mario Party board?
Right. That's what's so cool about it. It adds a whole new level of unpredictability. Imagine you land on a space thinking you're safe, and suddenly the escalator takes you right next to Bowser.
Oh, man. Talk about a bad shopping trip. I could already see the rage quits happening. But a party's not a party without the games right. Let's get into these mini games. Over 110 of them. They're really pushing the variety here.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see how well they pull it off. You mentioned motion controls and rhythm elements. There's one called Rhythm Kitchen where you're cooking along to the music. You have to hit the buttons at the right time to get the recipe right. Sounds like my kind of chaos. I'm a terrible cook in real life, so maybe I'll be better virtually.
Well, I love a good rhythm game, so that one's going on my list for sure. There's another one, Paratroop of Flight School, something about navigating obstacles, maybe some precision flying. This could be either super chill or a total disaster, depending on your skills.
Exactly. And that's what's great about having so many minigames. They're not just trying to create 110 versions of the same thing. It seems like Jamboree is really going for a diverse set of challenges, different skill levels, even different player preferences.
Yeah, I'm really digging this variety. So far, we've got boards designed to mess with, mini games ranging from cooking to flying. What else did they cram into this party? It looks like it's more than just the usual board game stuff, right?
You got it. There's a mode called Party Planner Trek for solo players. It's a way to practice the minigames and explore the boards without the pressure of competition. But for those who want the real deal, the, nail-biting competition, there are a couple of multiplayer modes that seem pretty wild.
Okay, spill the beans. What kind of multiplayer madness are we talking about here?
Okay, so first up is Coupathlon, which is basically 20-player races. I heard that right, 20. You can either race against the CPU or other people online. It's all about mastering the minigames to get ahead and speed past everyone else.
Wow, 20-player races. That sounds insane. I can't even imagine the trash talk that would go down in those matches. Okay, what about the other mode?
All right. This one's called Bowser Kaboom Squad, and it's totally different. It's team-based, so you actually have to work together to take down Imposter Bowser. The details are a bit vague, but it seems like you have to collect bombs, load cannons, and come up with a plan of attack.
Imposter Bowser. Okay, that's just begging for some fan theories. And team-based gameplay in Mario Party. That's not something you see every day. It's cool that they're including these totally different modes, to mix things up.
Totally. And it goes back to that idea of giving players different options. Maybe you're all about that intense competition in Coupathlon, or maybe you prefer the strategic teamwork of Bowser Kaboom Squad. Either way, they're giving you choices.
I like choices. So we've got boards, mini games, and these wild multiplayer modes. Anything else they threw in the mix?
Oh, yeah, there's one more thing, and it might be the biggest game changer of all. Customization, Super Mario Party Jamboree lets you change the rules to fit how you want to play. You can adjust the difficulty, turn motion controls on or off, and they even have a pro rules setting.
Pro rules. What makes it pro?
They don't really explain it in detail, but it seems like it makes the gameplay more streamlined. Maybe it reduces random elements like item drops or those crazy dice rolls. It seems like it's all about making it more skill-based, so, less luck, more strategy.
Interesting. So if you're tired of getting screwed over by a blue shell right before the finish line, pro rules might be the way to go. I like that they're giving players that level of control, especially the ones who want a more strategic experience.
Yeah, exactly. And speaking of shaking things up, there's also the Jamboree Buddy system. This one's a bit of a mystery, but from what we've gathered, these buddies appear on the board and give you special abilities.
Oh, yeah, I saw something about that. But what are these Jamboree buddies? Like AI companions or power-ups or something else entirely?
It's not totally clear yet, but they seem to be more than just power-ups. Think of them like wild cards that can help you move faster, steal coins, or even protect you from Bowser spaces. The catch is that they appear randomly, so you never know who's going to show up or how they'll affect the game.
So you could be in the lead thinking you're about to win, and suddenly a Jamboree buddy pops up and changes everything. That sounds like it could either save you or totally ruin your game.
Totally. And that's what keeps things exciting. Even if you've memorized the boards and mastered the minigames, the Jamboree buddies add this element of surprise. You're always on your toes, never knowing what's going to happen next.
Okay, so we've got a pretty good picture of Super Mario Party Jamboree so far. It's like a mix of familiar and totally wild. Classic boards with modern updates, a crazy number of mini-games, intense multiplayer races, team-based Bowser battles, customizable rules, and these mysterious Jamboree buddies. It's a lot to take in.
It really is. But before we jump to any conclusions, we need to see what the critics and players are saying. Does Jamboree actually live up to all this hype? Luckily, you guys sent us plenty of opinions to dissect, so let's dive into the reception and see if this party is really worth attending.
All right, so let's see if this party is actually worth attending.
Yeah.
Like, does Super Mario Party Jamboree live up to all this hype? We've got a mountain of reviews, previews, player impressions, so much to dig through. What's the overall vibe? Is this like a must-have Mario Party, or are we better off sticking with the classics?
Well, from what I'm seeing, the initial reaction is super positive, like overwhelmingly positive. A lot of reviewers are saying it's one of the best Mario Party games in years. They're praising the variety of content, the polish, how well made it feels, and the attention to detail. It seems like they really put a lot of effort into this one.
Yeah, that's good to hear. But I'm always a little skeptical of those super glowing reviews. You know what I mean? Like, no game is perfect, right? There's got to be something people are complaining about. What are some of the criticisms?
Yeah, you're right. There are always a few things. People have pointed out that some of the mini games, like out of those 110, a few of them feel a bit repetitive or kind of unbalanced. Like there's one player who has a clear advantage no matter what. And there's been some grumbling about the pacing of the board game mode. Some people are saying it feels a little slow, especially compared to some of the more recent Mario Party games that are more fast-paced.
Ah, so maybe it's not the perfect party for everyone.
Yeah.
But it sounds like those are pretty minor complaints overall.
Yeah, I'd say so. For the most part, people are impressed with how much stuff they managed to cram into this game. 7 boards, over 110 mini games, multiple game modes. It's a lot. And it seems like the variety is paying off. People are calling out specific mini games that are either hilarious or super challenging or require some serious teamwork. It's not just the same old ideas with the new coat of paint. They're really trying to do something different here.
Okay, that's reassuring. What about the visuals?
Uh-huh.
I'm a sucker for a good art style, and the trailers made Jamboree look pretty amazing.
Oh yeah, the visuals are definitely a highlight. People are loving the graphics, the character animations, how detailed everything is. It really does feel like you're stepping into a classic Mario world, but with a fresh new look. And the music's getting a lot of praise too. It's super catchy and really captures that party atmosphere.
Nice. I'm all about a good soundtrack.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it all comes down to gameplay, right? Are people actually enjoying themselves?
It seems like they are. The mini games in particular seem to be a big hit. Rhythm Kitchen is living up to the hype. People are saying it's chaotic and super engaging, and Paratroopa Flight School seems to be dividing people. Some love the challenge, some find it a bit frustrating, but hey, that's part of the fun, right? Different strokes for different folks.
Totally. And those were the two you were most excited about, right? Sounds like your instincts were right on the money. So what about those new game modes? Koopathon and Bowser Kaboom Squad? What are people saying about those?
Coupathlon is getting some mixed reactions, which is kind of what I expected. Some people love the intensity of those 20-player races, while others find it a bit too much to handle. It definitely seems like it's geared towards a certain type of player who really thrives on competition.
Yeah, I can see that I'm more of a casual player, so I don't think I could handle that kind of pressure.
But that's what's cool about Jamboree. It's got something for everyone. On the other hand, Bowser Kaboom Squad seems to be a real crowd pleaser. People are loving the team-based gameplay and the focus on strategy and coordination. It's a nice change of pace from the usual every man for himself chaos of Mario Party.
That's smart of them, to include modes that appeal to different play styles. What about that pro rules setting? Is it actually making a difference for people who want a more skill-based experience?
It seems like it is. People who are playing with pro rules say it makes the game feel a lot more balanced. It removes some of the randomness and really lets skill shine through. So if you're tired of getting lucky rolls, screwing you over pro rules might be your jam.
That's awesome.
Hmm.
It's great that they're giving that option to players who want a more competitive experience.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk about those mysterious Jamboree buddies. Are they living up to the hype? Are they really shaking things up like they promised?
It seems like they're a bit of a mixed bag. Some players love the unpredictable element they bring to the game, while others find them a bit frustrating. It really depends on your playstyle and how much you enjoy the element of chance. But one thing's for sure, they're definitely adding a unique twist to the formula.
So it's all about embracing the chaos, right? All right, so we've got glowing reviews, a few minor complaints, and a lot of excitement around those new features. But there's one crucial element we haven't touched on yet, the social aspect. At the end of the day, a Mario Party game is all about getting together with friends and having fun. So what are people saying about the multiplayer experience?
Well, it's like with any social game, opinions are all over the place. Some players are loving the competitive spirit, the trash talk, the gloating over victories, that kind of stuff. Others are finding it a bit too chaotic or cutthroat for their liking.
I can see both sides of that. So is it a game that can cater to both types of players? Can you still have fun with it even if you're not super competitive?
It seems like the answer is yes. The ability to customize the rules, adjust the difficulty, and even choose specific mini-games really helps create a more tailored experience. And even if you're not the most competitive person, it seems like the sheer variety and absurdity of the mini-games is enough to keep everyone entertained.
Okay, that's good to hear. It wouldn't be much of a party game if it only appealed to the hardcore gamers.
Yeah.
What about the online multiplayer? Because let's be real, sometimes it's just not possible to get everyone in the same room these days. Is the online experience smooth and enjoyable?
There have been a few reports of minor lag or connection issues, but for the most part, the online functionality seems to be working pretty well. People are saying the matches are generally smooth and it's comparable to playing locally. So if you want to party up with friends who are far away, Jamboree has got you covered.
That's great. Nobody wants technical issues ruining their fun. So we've looked at the good, the bad, and the slightly laggy. What's the final verdict? Is Super Mario Party Jamboree a worthy addition to the franchise?
Based on everything we've seen and read, it's looking like a big yes. It's polished, it's packed with content, and it's definitely fun. They took the classic Mario Party formula and injected it with a fresh dose of energy and creativity.
All right, you've convinced me. I'm grabbing my Joy-Cons and joining the Jamboree. But before we wrap things up, I'm curious, with all this variety on offer, what aspect of Super Mario Party Jamboree are you most excited about?
Oh man, that's a tough one. The strategic depth of Bowser Kaboom Squad is definitely calling my name, and I'm still really intrigued by those Jamboree buddies. But honestly, what excites me the most is seeing how all these different elements come together to create a truly unique and memorable experience. Whether you're a seasoned Mario Party veteran or a complete newcomer, Jamboree seems to have something for everyone.
Couldn't have said it better myself. It's a celebration of everything we love about Mario Party, but with enough new twists and turns to keep things fresh and exciting. Now, before we send you all off to party the night away, we want to hear from you. What are your first impressions of Super Mario Party Jamboree? Are you loving the new boards? Did you get absolutely destroyed in a 20-player Coupathlon race? Or maybe you found your new favorite minigame? We want to hear all about it. Head over to social media platform and tell us what you think using the hashtag Mario Party Deep Dive.
And no matter how many reviews you read or podcasts you listen to, the best way to experience Super Mario Party Jamboree is to grab some friends, fire up your Switch, and dive into the chaos yourself.
Seriously, go out there, party people. Roll those dice, master those mini games, and may your stars be plentiful. Until next time, happy gaming.